Hello, Keller Williams. This is Hunter Gore with the Relocate Upstate team here in the upstate of South Carolina. Before we jump into our command video today, we're going to be doing how to run specifically a Facebook ad from start to finish. Hopefully this will be able to give you guys a really good overview of how to at least get started if you've never run any sort of paid advertisements like this before. I do just want to say, if you guys have any referrals for the upstate of South Carolina, anywhere from Greenville, Spartanburg, Anderson, Clemson, Easley, any city or area here in the upstate, my team and I are happy to help you guys out. So we're going to go ahead and jump on in to creating our Facebook ad through command. The very first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to actually need to go over to our settings. So we're going to get to our settings by clicking on our name, which has the drop-down menu, and clicking on settings. Now we're going to need to connect Facebook, if you guys have not already connected Facebook already, for social post. So let me scroll down a little bit. It's going to be under the marketing automation, and you're actually able to connect a couple different things. I personally don't have a Twitter account set up for ads. I do have a personal Twitter, but I don't have it set up for running ads with. You can also set up a Google AdWords. I also have yet to set that up, but I'm looking to get into that this next week, and I'll create some videos on that. However, we're going to be looking at Facebook today. So if you would, go ahead and click on the Connect Account button, which will be right here. My account is already linked, so I'm not going to go ahead and disconnect and then reconnect it for video purposes. But if you guys will click Connect Account, that will pull up another screen, which will have you log into your Facebook. So the way that the Facebook ads work through command is that it's going to have you log into your personal Facebook, and then through your personal Facebook account, it's going to get connected to your Facebook business page, whatever business page that is that you might manage. And so you will be able to post all of the ads through your business page. And then if you ever wanted to share that on your personal page or anything like that, you would have to share that after those ads and things get posted to your business page. So once you guys have that Facebook account set up and linked, you'll have that link to your personal page, and then I can't remember if it's on this screen or if it's on the other screen that we'll go to in a second, where you will link it to your business page, but you'll get that business page linked there as well. So once you guys have that done under the Marketing Automation tab and settings, we're going to go over to the Campaigns tab. The Campaigns tab is the little microphone right here on the left hand side, so we're going to click on that. And this is going to pull up all of the campaigns. So under the Campaigns tab, we're able to do things like paid advertisements, mass emails, direct mail, and social media posts. Now, as you guys can see, I have a couple different ads right here that I've run in the past. I have a couple that are drafts that are being set up. We've done a couple listings, a couple to attract talent, did one on Instagram. And we have had some decent success. This is probably one of my favorite ones that I've done so far, just because I'm working on getting my cost per lead down each and every time. So we did $30 ad for 5 days, gave us 16 leads, and we got our cost per lead down to $1.88. I would look at some of the other metrics that I've used in here. You can see some of them are a little bit higher, $8, $4. I think both of those were listings as well. $3 and then $10. Both of these I did in a class that I was teaching, so I got those set up pretty quickly. But we're aiming for our cost per lead to be somewhere between $1 and $2. So the way that we're going to create our social post in our ad is we're going to go over here to create a new campaign. It's going to give us a couple different options. Now, because we already have our social ad site connected that we did through settings, we're going to be able to go here to the social ad and click on this paid campaign. It's going to ask you what is your campaign name. So for me, I'm going to say YouTube video. Just going to be super simple. And next, it's going to ask you for the goal of your ad. So there are a couple different things that you can do. I've seen a lot of people doing some different testings. For example, they'll run the same exact ad with all the same features. The only difference will be they choose a different goal. Some of the things that I've found that get the best leads and the lowest cost per lead is to do either attract buyers or advertise listings. Either one of those work really great. I'm going to go ahead and just do attract buyers. for the sake of this video. And then it's going to ask you, where do you want your campaign to run? I'm going to go ahead and click on Facebook because that's connected. What's great is that you also have the option to do Instagram. And because Facebook owns Instagram, it syncs pretty well. I like to go ahead and just tell everybody to go ahead and put it on Instagram too. That way you can get a little bit of exposure there. You'll then hit Set Up Campaign. Then you will have a couple different options. So we're going to be looking, we'll come down to the channel options where we will configure things like budget as well as where these ads are placed. But first, we're going to be trying to advertise, we're going to be trying to find buyers, and so we need to find a listing that is going to be good to use. So I'm going to go with all listings. I'm trying to think what is a good property to do. You know what? We're going to do one of our lakefront properties. This would be 138 Waterford. See if I can get that. Perfect. So this is one of our lake properties that my team and I have listed. It is a 4-bed, 3-bath for $575,000. So it's a little higher in price range. I typically like to recommend people try to find properties that are $150,000 to $250,000 list price, just because you're typically going to find more leads that way. You're going to get a lot lower cost per lead. The reason I'm doing this is because we've had this property on market for a little longer than we would like. Had a couple offers and some stuff's fallen through on it, but we're just really trying to get this sold for our clients. So that's why I'm going to be doing this ad for this property. But typically I just like to recommend that people get something with a little cheaper price tag on it. That way, you actually have people who are interested and who could probably afford it as well. So the next thing we're going to be looking at is the main copy. So the main copy will typically pull from the KWLS or MLS, depending on how it's run in your market center. And so this is really just the description that's in KWLS. So we're going to want to actually take all this out. The reason I do that is because it's super, super long. As you can see, we only have 250 characters max. However, it's right here, it's recommended for 125 characters or less. The reason that is because once you go over 125, you start to have to click on the more button just to see the full description. So I'm going to say like beautiful, if I can spell today. Beautiful lakefront home on Kiwi, which is the lake that is on here in our area. They also have the option to add, emojis, which happens in this little smiley face right there. So I'm going to bring the emojis up. And typically, one of the ones that I like to use, particularly for like lake properties around us, if I can get him to load, is the one with the little glasses, just because it typically, is like, fun out in the sun kind of feeling. We're going to do this little guy right here. I'm also so one thing to note is that you need to put your cursor, your mouse cursor, wherever you want the emoji to go. So I typed the whole message and then put it right there at the end. I'm going to come back and put the cursor right there, and then click on that, and I'll see if we can get it to go. Let's actually look for a house. See if we can find a little house there. You know what? That's actually probably the best thing to do, is to put the emojis first. So like, for example, and I screwed this up, but if you guys want to put the emoji at the beginning, you'll need to put the emoji first, then type your message, the emoji, and then let's say that you want to type out another sentence or two and put another emoji. You'll want to make sure that you add that emoji, this house emoji, before you type in your next sentence. So I typed out another sentence, great doc and open floor plan. you can really capitalize words if you want to. I'm doing open floor plan. Actually, probably need to do open capitalize as well. But I'm doing that just to get a little bit more attention to the words. I am also using emojis because emojis are typically going to catch somebody's eye when they're scrolling through Facebook a little bit better than just plain text would. So let's go down and we'll put a little red stop sign to make them hopefully stop. Red tends to catch people's eyes. Next thing we're going to need to put is the headline. I like to put headlines such as like your dream home. And then you'll need to put a little description, be like, come take a look today. Honestly, I'm just going through this really fast for the sake of the video, but what I would really encourage you guys to do is to spend a lot of time on this main copy right here, and a lot of time on this description, really the headline as well, but you're really going to want to figure out what's going to work good for you and what's going to work good for your market and the buyer demographic that you're trying to find. Typically the buyer demographic will be associated with the price tag as well. So that's why I always like to just recommend that people try to find listings that are also at a little bit lower price. But you guys will really want to spend a lot of time in this main copy, really just trying to figure out what's going to work best for you to get you the most amount of leads at the cheapest price. Unfortunately, I'm just having to go through it fast for the sake of the video. But we will end up saving our ad text there. Then we're going to have our ad media. So what's really great is that this is going to pull pictures from the KW listing service, KWLS. You're able to add videos if you want. You can add multiple images. So for example, if I want to go and find, trying to see if I can find one of the dock. There we go. All right. So this is one of the dock that the property is on. So now we have two pictures for it. Hopefully that'll get a little bit more traction. You're going to want to have your DBA logo in there. And you can also include an ownership statement if you'd like. I like to do it just for sake of legality. You can also add videos in here if you want. It really just kind of depends on what you like. Typically what I find is that the inside of the houses work a little bit better. I'm also going to put that picture first. And honestly, I'm probably going to put another picture of the inside and take out the picture of the outside. I'm trying to see if I can find a good one that I like. Let's do this one. So the reason why we do the ones at the inside is because from what I have found testing and what I have seen a lot of other KW agents do when they're doing ads is that the ones that have pictures of like the outside typically get less leads for some reason. I don't know why. That's just what I've tested as well as what other people have tested. So one thing to note is that we added more images by clicking here to add more, and it'll pull up whatever's from the listing. You can add more images from either design library or uploading them, and you can add video basically the same way. If you want to delete one of them, you will click on these three dots and hit change image, crop, or delete. I'm going to delete it right here. If you want to move it, you will click on this little button right here. So whenever you hover over the image, this little thing right here, little white to the left side, will pop up and you can move and rearrange them in that order. And so essentially we have done our ad media. So the very last two things we're going to do is we are going to configure how we want to do our Facebook ads and our Instagram ads. So I am going to do it for my personal page. You can also choose if you want to do Instagram ads or Instagram stories. I feel like Instagram stories would get a little bit more hits. That's just me personally. I've not unfortunately done a ton of research on the difference between Instagram ads and stories as far as like engagements and leads. I'm going to be working on that here in the future. One thing to note really, really importantly on the second part where it's talking about the destination for Facebook itself, whatever you do, do not do a site or landing page because the Facebook lead gen form will automatically pull their information from Facebook, so that way you don't have to do any of that, thankfully. And then if you ever did like a site or a landing page, there's no guarantee that you would even get people's information and get leads. Plus, those leads, unless they were done by a specific landing page that you made through designs, through the consumer tab, they probably would not get their information captured, and then therefore that information would not be exported to command. So I always recommend that people do the Facebook lead gen form. It just simplifies everything and it makes it easier for the majority of people. You have 3 different buttons under here for call to action. You can do either learn more, sign up, or apply now. I typically just do learn more. And then you have a follow-up destination. So I'm going to do, actually mine is, I'm trying to think if I can find it somewhere. I have a specific landing page I actually just made yesterday for my new app. So the majority of people are going to be on Facebook on their phones. That's just what we learned at Family Reunion, one of the Facebook breakout sessions that my team and I sat through. So most people are going to be on their phones looking at Facebook on the Facebook mobile app. Because of that, I want to get more people on my mobile app looking for properties. So after they put in their information on the lead gen form, it'll automatically put it in, but whenever they submit it, it'll take them to another page, which is my custom landing page, where it'll have a little bit of information about me, and then a big button that says download my app. And so my goal is to push people toward downloading my app. So then once I have done that, I have the option to do either custom settings, or I can do whatever is automatically pulled from the listing. So our listing is in a town called Seneca, South Carolina, which is where Lake Keowee is. And it automatically has it set for a 20-mile radius, nothing too fancy. However, if you want to use custom settings, you're able to do that. You can do expert targeting. I've seen people that have no expert targeting and have a ton of leads. And then I've seen those same people try expert targeting and get like no leads. And I've seen the exact opposite happen, where some people have no expert targeting and get no leads, and some people have a ton of expert targeting and get a lot of leads. I'm not really sure why there are 2 different kind of categories of people getting those sort of leads. What I have found that works personally for me is I let the KW API work in my favor by not putting any expert targeting, because it's going to figure out what people are wanting to see the ad, and it's going to boost your ad for those people in a specific area and time of the day. And so if you have expert targeting, sometimes that'll limit what the API is able to do and learn. Also, if you wanted to put it in a different location, you would do that here under custom settings. For my purposes, I'm just going to use the regular settings. I'm going to click save, and then essentially the only thing left to do is the duration and budget. So I typically like to run mine for 5 days. And as you can see, today's the 10th. The day that I'm filming this is the 10th. The day that it will start is the day after. Typically, they like to give 24 hours to get your ad approved by Facebook before they will launch it. So with it starting on the 11th, 5 days would be the 16th. So my duration would be 5 days. The next thing is your campaign budget. Typically, I will do $30. And that's just what I like to do from a personal standpoint. You can do more, you can do a little bit less, but it'll change the daily amount. Then it asks you, do you want to distribute evenly across the channels, or do you want to use automatic placements for Facebook and Instagram ads? So right here, Facebook uses their algorithm to intelligently spend your money based on audience and performance. Set your budget and allow Facebook to optimize your spend to gather impressions. I typically will just have both of these checked from my experience. If you guys do something different with this last button right here, or you have a reason why you do or don't, please leave that in the comments below. I'd love to learn what you guys are doing and having success with. So after that, we're going to hit save, and essentially we are ready to publish our campaign, in which case we're going to do it by here. It'll pull up your credit card information. If you don't already have your credit card, it'll prompt you to put in your information. Otherwise, it'll say, do you want to use this card? And then it'll charge that card on file. So essentially, guys, that's all that it takes to run a campaign ad through command for Facebook. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you would, please go ahead and subscribe if you're not already, and go ahead and leave me some comments and some likes down below. Again, if you guys have any referrals for the upstate of South Carolina, let me know. My team and I are happy to help, and hopefully I'll see you guys soon.